My chances of being misunderstood have been high in the short time I have walked the earth. Yet, I've been determined to hope people always understand me, scarcely realizing that no sensible person on earth could ever warrant me that honor. For this reason, the blame for this error falls solely on me. Having said this, I must submit that though in my steady progress through life, I have often found myself caught up in situations where I've said something and people have taken it as something else. I've never tried to rid myself of this error, simply because it has never mattered to me. But when I decided to pursue this chronicle, yielding to the formidable pressure my aging mind had long resisted, I began to hope for the first time that I was kept free from the burden of this charge. And now, as much of the work is done and the pages of this book are nearly filled with my worthless sentiments, I sincerely hope no one misunderstands me. I hope no one misunderstands my beloved friend and mistakes him for a real person of our time. I hope no one misreads the odd and atypical caricatures I have endeavored to develop and plant around him, and mistakes their personalities for those possessed by real people. I also hope no one misreads the places my friend frequents and labels the settings and details drawn as being immaculately accurate. However, let this be clear that I do not desire that anyone, especially among the real inhabitants of these places, should ever think I was delighted to paint a twisted picture of these places, only to deceive or trick. For the idea was merely to settle the urge to amuse, without being hurtful. Even so, if any of my readers living in the places depicted are offended by my inaccurate account, I beg them to favor me with kindness and treat my error as that acquired by a child who has freshly learned how to write. I know many would ask me why I portray these places, and would wonder if I was more than obliged to assign a special favor to them for no real reason. Well, the answer to this inquiry lies in the fact that the faint impressions of these places, where I've spent much of my childhood and early youth, have constantly echoed within the dark chambers of my memory and have persuaded me to pen them down. And therefore, when the idea of writing a story struck me, I couldn't help but go back to those impressions with the same sincerity, tenderness, and innocence with which I had once prowled about their silent lanes and narrow margins, which I'm sure still howl with that old, dreadful calm.
And now, to finish, I truly hope those who may have somehow managed to lay hands on this work are immediately pressed with curiosity to heed to what this wretched man, I speak of my humble self, has to say about his beloved friend, whom every vital character roaming about in this sinister world of his gleefully addresses as David. And are led on to that place, that strange setting, that dismal spot, that wretched property, which positions itself rather favorably in the hearts and minds of those who must live and visit here, insofar as the tragic pleasantries arising here could afford. That place, as the title suggests, is the large house.